What's good, guys? We are back at it again with the last minute full card prediction video. I hope when I put down the water bottle, when I put down my phone, it doesn't make too much noise, because I noticed that last time watching the video back. I want to mention we haven't done a last minute full card prediction video in a long time, so if you guys haven't already, guys, just give me a like, guys. That's the last time I'm going to ask for it. Of course, we got a 14 fight card. Everyone made weight. How rarely is it that everybody makes weight and we have a full 14 fight card? I cannot wait for this card. Without gish galloping, let's just get right into it. Carli, by the way, I'm going to be reading only the props that I like for the person that I'm picking. So let's say in this instance I'm picking Carli Judice. I'm going to pick the props that I like for Judice. Maybe like for instance Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen. I'll show you guys some props like Marvin by decision. So in some cases, majority of the cases, I'm going to go by very fast with these props. So if you guys haven't, guys, just give me a like. It's a good suggestion that you guys have been helping me with. Any other suggestions, I'm glad to hear it. Positive, negative, I'm glad to hear it. I'll learn from it. Thank you guys so much. Here we go. Carli Judice minus 375. Nicolle Caliari plus 300. Giat. This is a very good fight, guys. This is a very good way to start off the card as well. Make sure you don't miss this one because I think that it's going to be a bang. Carli Judice, record is only 4-2. Very new to her career. Her only two losses are to Ernesto Caracake and Gabriela Fernandez. She lost both of those fights by split back-to-back. Carli is the favorite. She's decent, but Caliari will bring it. Judice has a good 1-2, good kicks, but she's very open to a takedown. Carli is going to be matched up against Nicolle Caliari. Caliari is a smoke show. Caliari is a grappler that can sometimes, chase for her submission over position and fall off. She has the head over arm throws. She has a very good clinch, collar tie. Once on top, she can sometimes lose position. Caliari is the older fighter by 2 years. She's coming off of a loss to Ernesto Caracake by split. And in my honest opinion, I thought Carli Judice put up a way better performance. But obviously, styles make fights. This might get tricky. This might get dicey. But the pick is going to be Carli Judice. I like Carli Judice moneyline as a parlay piece, but I also like Carli Judice by decision, minus 105. I like the over 2.5 at a minus 235, but we have to be careful because Fatima Klein and Melissa Martinez last time, the over 2.5 went past by 3 seconds. If it was 3 seconds before, the over 2.5 was not going to hit, so be careful. I like Carli Judice by decision, minus 105, over 2.5, minus 235, and Carli Judice by KO or on points, minus 270, or even Carli Judice by submission or on points at a minus 155. Let's go, my girl Carli Judice, for the dub. Let's go. I'm going by a little bit quicker, guys. Normally, I would be reading all the props, but I think you guys like it this way. Brunno Ferreira versus Jackson McVey. Brunno Ferreira minus 590. Jackson McVey plus 440. Brunno Ferreira was supposed to be fighting Ikram Alaskarov. Ikram broke his toe. McVey also had a bout scheduled with Dumas. That fight fell through. Then he was scheduled to fight somebody else. That guy missed weight by 10 pounds. He was supposed to fight on 317. Now he's on 318, but he's in a tough fight. But welcome to the UFC, Jackson McVey. Jackson McVey is very good in my opinion, but I will say McVey feels like this is not the stylistic matchup that I wanted for McVey. Brunno Ferreira is only 32 years old. At 13-2, he is 3-2 overall out of his last 5. He will be looking to put together a 2-fight win streak. He's coming off of that submission armbar win over Armin Petrosian. He's a powerhouse that loves to eat one to give one. Matched up against Jackson McVey. McVey is only 26 years old, making his debut. Welcome to the UFC, my guy McVey. Good teeps, good 1-2, and he's huge. So he's going to have that advantage. And if you guys don't know, McVey has a 100% finish rate. 3 wins by sub first round and 3 wins by KO. I'm going to go Brunno Ferreira by KO. Give me Brunno Ferreira by KO minus 125. I'm going to go round 2 to be exact. I like Brunno by KO minus 125. I like the under 1.5 at a minus 235. Brunno by KO or sub minus 430. Brunno by KO or on points at a minus 155. And I like this fight to end by KO at a minus 165. Let's go Brunno Ferreira for the dub. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. I will say, I would like Jackson McVey to put up a good performance, considering that he's been willing to sign the dotted line with 3 different opponents already, back to back. Minus 240 for Ryan Spann, Łukasz Brzeski plus 190. Ryan Spann on a pay-per-view is absolutely insanity, but the UFC knows exactly what they're doing with this fight. Spann is 33 years old, massive amount of reach and height, but he can tend to fall into a brawl and struggle with grapplers. Ryan Spann has 19 stoppages in his 22 wins. If he doesn't get the finish, he most likely gets finished. It's hard to trust Spann. He's dangerous, but he can sometimes snatch something up too as well. So I do like Spann inside the distance. Acosta made it look easy last time out against Ryan Spann. Waldo Cortez Acosta made it look easy last time out against Ryan Spann. I will say that was a little bit of a red flag, but I'm still going Ryan Spann. Lucas is the only man to ever beat Walter Walker. We saw Kennedy knock him out, though. We saw Kennedy knock out Lucas Brzeski. Lucas can be a bit chinny, but sticks to the game plan and stays composed. Spann didn't seem like he bulked correctly the last time out against Costa. I think this is a perfect fight for Ryan Spann. 1-800 gambler type fight, of course. I like Spann by KO. Spann by KO plus 165. Spann by sub plus 280. Fight doesn't go the distance, minus 800. Over 1.5, under 1.5. I like the under 1.5 at a minus 190. And then give me Spann by KO or sub minus 185. And I like Spann by KO or on points at a plus 115 as well. Let's go, my guy, Ryan Spann for the dub. I will say, though, the longer this fight goes, guys, the more and more hectic it's going to get. And I don't know if Ryan Spann is going to be able to win this fight the longer it goes. Give me Ryan Spann to ITD. Let's go. Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. Jimmy Crute minus 355. Marcin Prachnio plus 270. Another 1-800 gambler type of fight. Be careful with these fights, guys. Nothing wrong with skipping Ryan Spann and this fight. Jimmy Crute on a pay-per-view is absolute insanity. Jimmy Crute is ass. And he has not won a fight since 2020. Jimmy Crute has 2 draws and 3 losses out of his last 5. Jimmy Crute is primarily a grappler, looking to shoot, decent striking. He managed to drop Bellator early, but then he lost the second and third. Matched up against Marcin Prachnio. Prachnio has a karate background. He is 37 years old, but is always in a fight. At 17-8, Prachnio might be a little chinny, but he eats one to give one, and he's willing to jump right into the fire. So shout out to my guy Prachnio. The pick is going to be Jimmy Crute. Very low confidence. This is going to be crazy. We know Prachnio is coming off of the submission loss to Modestas Bukauskas, and Jimmy Crute actually knocked out Modestas Bukauskas. I don't take that into any type of consideration because styles make fights. Let's go with the props. I like Crute by points at a plus 310. I like Crute by KO plus 370. Will this fight go the distance? I like yes at a minus 210. Over 2.5 plus 120. Actually, I like that this fight doesn't go the distance. Excuse me. I think for this fight to not go the distance is a minus 210. Let me just double check that. I think I actually wrote that one wrong. Let me check. Jimmy Crute. Will this fight go the distance? Yeah, no is a minus 210. All right, so I like for this fight to not go the distance at a minus 210. I like Crute by KO plus 370. I like the under 2.5 at a minus 154. And give me Crute by KO or sub minus 140. And just in case, I like Crute by submission on points at a minus 160. In fact, my favorite prop, I like Crute by submission on points at a minus 160. Or even Crute by KO or sub at a minus 140. Let's go, my guy Jimmy Crute for the dub. Let's go. But you're going to have to work for it, Jimmy Crute. You're going to have to work for it. Don't just get bullied around after the first round. Now, this is going to be a very good one. Adam Fugitt is back against Islam Dulatov. This is one of those fights where I think it's going to be a very good show. It's a very good way for Islam Dulatov to get into the UFC. Welcome to the UFC, Dulatov. Adam Fugitt plus 420. Islam minus 600. This fight should be a bang. Adam Fugitt, a hard grappler that gets in your face, doesn't give you any space. Adam is 36 years old. At 10-4, he's a massive dog. He can tend to be defensively sound, but straight shots can get right through. Adam is tough as nails. He's coming off of the split decision win over Josh Quinlan. Matched up against Islam Dulatov. Islam is 11-6, only 26 years old. His only loss is by decision. He has never won a fight by decision. 6 TKO wins, 5 wins by sub, 100% finish rate for Dulatov. Dulatov is making his UFC debut. Welcome to the UFC, Dulatov. The pick is Dulatov inside the distance. Let's go over the props. Dulatov by KO minus 145. Dulatov by sub plus 340. Maybe it's worth a sprinkle. Fight doesn't go the distance, minus 950. Good parlay piece. Over, under 1.5. I like the under 1.5 at a minus 205. Dulatov by KO or sub, minus 380. Dulatov by KO or on points, minus 200. Guys, I love the double chance, guys. Dulatov by KO or sub, minus 380. I even like Dulatov by KO or on points at minus 200. Give me Dulatov by KO, minus 145. And give me the 2 double chances. Dulatov by KO or sub, minus 380. And Dulatov by KO or on points at minus 200. Dulatov does have a 100% finish rate. So let's go, my guy Dulatov for the dub. Let's go. It's going to be a bang. Islam Dulatov for the dub. Let's go. 14-20, 14-20. Ateba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. Ateba Gautier minus 550. Robert Valentin plus 390. Why does the UFC hate Valentin? The Francis Ngannou of today's modern era. I really do believe Ateba is going to... His ceiling is so high. Ateba is only 23 years old, surprisingly so young. At 7-1 overall, he had a successful debut on both Dana White Contender Series and had an even better UFC debut. His only loss is by split decision. Ateba looked absolutely amazing against Jose Medina. Jose was emoting, telling him come. He was eating the shots, and Ateba read him like a book. He stayed composed and threw a nice knee up the middle. Matched up against Robert Valentin. He's a wild card. The Switzerland fighter is only 30 years old, being fed to the wolves over and over again. At 10-5, Valentin has only won by decision once in his entire career. He's a finish or be finished fighter. I think the UFC knows what they're doing with this fight. Let's go with the props. Ateba by KO minus 230. Ateba by sub plus 900. Come on, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Fight doesn't go the distance, minus 850. I like that one. Over 1.5 plus 126. Under 1.5 minus 160. You guys know, guys, I love that under 1.5 at a minus 160. But Robert Valentin might look to wrestle here, but he's not primarily a grappler. And he got out grappled by Ryan Loder as well. Ateba by KO on points, minus 340. Ateba by KO or sub, minus 340. Give me the both double chances. I'll take Ateba by KO, minus 230. Give me the under 1.5, minus 160. Give me Ateba by KO or sub, minus 340. And Ateba by KO on points at a minus 340. Let's go Ateba Gautier for the dub. I'll go round 2 KO. Let's go. 1541, 1541. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be a bang. Francisco Prado versus... Excuse me, guys. Francisco Prado versus Nikolay Veretennikov. I know a lot of people are going to see the OV at the end, and they're going to get a lot of, oh, he's OV, oh, he's OV. We got to be careful. I'm on Prado. Prado minus 150, Nikolay plus 122. Prado's at welterweight for this one. He already lost at welterweight against Jake Matthews, but is looking to fight again at 170. Prado is only 23 years old. At 12-3 overall, he's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses to Daniel Zellhuber and Jake Matthews. No shame in losing to both of those guys. Prado can get wild. He does have great power, but he doesn't move his head if his life depended on it. He does have wrestling in the back pocket, which is something that we're going to need if we're on Team Prado. Prado tends to make things work by being way too tough. Matched up against Nikolay. Nikolay is on a 2-fight losing skid, losing to Danny Barlow and Austin Vanderford by KO. Nikolay moves forward, throws with intent, but he does have that hole in the wrestling department. Prado, to be durable and grapple, I like Prado. I like him by KO or on points. I like him money line as well. We don't have to get fancy. If you're looking for the props, Prado by KO plus 350. Prado by points plus 200. I like Prado by points at a plus 200. I think it's possible. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a minus 146. No at a plus 114. Prado by KO on points minus 125. Prado by sub points plus 140. In this case, give me Prado money line minus 150. I'm going to take Prado by points plus 200. Give me that this fight goes the distance at a minus 146. And give me Prado by KO on points at a minus 125. Let's go, my guy Prado, for the dub. Let's go. 1651, 1651. Now, this one, they get right into it, guys. Marvin Vettori is going to be fighting for something more than just himself, guys. Marvin Vettori is going to be looking to bring it. So I don't mind if Marvin Vettori ends up winning. I really don't. And if anything, I might even have Marvin Vettori in a slip. I love the plus 3.5 for Marvin Vettori as well. Marvin Vettori plus 156. Brendan Allen minus 194. This is a rematch. The ones who know. Both of these guys fought at the casino. I feel like I've been talking about this all week. The casino. And in reality, the casino doesn't even matter. It's a cage fight and with sanctioned rules. So we got to throw that casino fight out the window. But this is the rematch. Brendan Allen is from Louisiana. Number 11 ranked Brendan Allen takes on number 10 ranked Marvin Vettori. I think Brendan Allen won the first fight, but obviously we got to stop talking about that. Marvin Vettori has never been KO'd or submitted ever in his entire pro career. If Marvin loses, it's most likely by decision. All of his losses come by decision. Marvin is 9-6 in the UFC, tends to lack power. His footwork isn't the best, but his takedown selection mixed with his chin and volume makes him a very good fighter. Marvin can control his opponent very well. It's just that he can struggle to get the fight down to the mat. Matched up against Brendan Allen. At 29 years old, with a record of 24-7, Allen is pretty well-rounded. BJJ black belt, excuse me. Good kicks, decent striking, but it's just that I feel like Allen sometimes can't put it all together. He can't mix it all up. It's mixed martial arts. Allen's biggest struggle is kind of, gassing after shooting telegraphed over telegraphed takedowns. Allen needs to mix it up. He looked very good against Chris Curtis, and he avenged that loss considering he got knocked out by Chris Curtis the first time. Even against Imbovov, Allen took the first round, but he did lose the second and third. Even against Anthony Hernandez, he put up a good scrap and some good scrambles, and he fought Anthony Hernandez twice in LFA and in the UFC. Allen is 12-4 in the UFC. He's on a 7-fight win streak. Avenged his loss against Chris Curtis as well. He was on a 7-fight win streak, excuse me. The pick is going to be Brendan Allen. I like the plus 3.5 for Marvin as well. Allen by 29-28 decision. Let's go over the props. Allen by points plus 120. Vettori by points plus 240. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at minus 260. No at a plus 194. Vettori by KO on points plus 185. Allen by KO on points minus 120. Allen by submission on points minus 155. In this case, guys, I'm going to take Allen moneyline at a minus 194. Give me Allen by points at a plus 120. I'll take that this fight goes the distance minus 260. And give me Allen by submission on points at a minus 155. Let's go Allen for the dub. Let's go. I will say, though, Marvin Vettori is going to bring it, guys. He looks like he's ready, guys. All right, let's go. Oliveira, who actually had an IV earlier. He had an IV before he went on the scale. It was right here. It was right here, and he, like, ripped it off, and then he flexed. And I thought that was pretty interesting, considering that, you know, we don't really see that a lot. Kyler Phillips plus 122. Vinicius Oliveira minus 150. Oof. We could just take money line, boys. This is a fun scrap. I have to mention the cage, guys. Kyler Phillips does a lot better with 25% bigger cage, guys. When he lost to Rob Font, it was in the apex. And one thing about Kyler Phillips is he's never lost in a bigger cage, 25% bigger. He has a lot of success when he has a lot of room to work, when he has a lot of room to, you know, have his footwork. He's very good in a bigger cage, especially if it's 25% bigger. The apex cage and the pay-per-view cage is absolutely insane in size difference. One thing that's a red flag, Oliveira, all of his losses come by KO. Dawg had a great scrap with Ali Taleb. Ended up getting knocked out cold in that fight, but he was winning. And in my opinion, it took up until the third round to finish Dawg, but Ali Taleb just lost to Taylor Lapilus in PFL. Ali Taleb is, you know, he's not really that good, but he did manage to crack Oliveira. Oliveira's 3-0 in the UFC. Oliveira creates chaos, looks to jump in the fire, and he's gotten so much better since his most recent loss. Oliveira has that forward pressure, great cardio. Oliveira's coming off of one of his best wins yet over Said Nurmagomedov. Matched up against Kyler Phillips. Phillips has a little bit of cardio issues sometimes. At 30 years old, he is 12-3 overall, 3-2 out of his last 5. Kyler is coming off of a loss to Rob Font in a smaller cage. Kyler has great striking, very slick and smooth when he's on his A game. As seen in his fight against Pedro Munoz, masterclass. Let's go over the props. Oliveira by KO plus 340. Oliveira by points plus 165. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a minus 190. Oliveira by KO on points minus 150. Oliveira by submission on points plus 135. Guys, Oliveira by KO on points is minus 150. Guys, just give me Oliveira money line minus 150. I'm going to take that this fight goes the distance at a minus 190. And give me Oliveira by points at a plus 165. Let's go, my guy. Oliveira for the dub. Let's go. 1928. Daniel Zellhuber versus Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson plus 390. Daniel Zellhuber minus 550. Zellhuber is back. Let's go. This scrap will be a bang. Michael Johnson is the guy who could beat Dustin Poirier, but lose to Nate Diaz in the same night. Johnson is a wild card. 15-15 in the UFC. The majority of Johnson's losses come by sub. He's lost by sub 9 times. I like Zellhuber by Darce. At 23-19, he is always up for a war. He just went to war with Ahmed Azaitar 6 months ago. In a fight where he got hurt, he got rocked, and he still bit down on his mouthpiece and he went forward. Matched up against Daniel Zellhuber. Zellhuber is someone who I have been high on, but he just needs to sharpen his tools up in the toolbox. He needs to use all 8 of his limbs. All of them. At 15-2, his only 2 losses are to Dre Ogden and Esteban Ribovics by split. He's only 26 years old, has a lot of time to work. He's long, has a lot of range, but against Ribovics, I didn't like how he kept on engaging into the brawl, and he did get cracked over with an overhand right pretty hard in that 3rd round, but he did manage to survive with that amazing head movement. I will say, Zellhuber is a little bit susceptible to overhands. You know, he's very tall, so anything around the equilibrium, Zellhuber can get hit. You know, he has gotten tagged a little bit, but he does come forward. Zellhuber by KO plus 180. Zellhuber by sub plus 440. Zellhuber by points plus 180. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a plus 122. No at a minus 156. Zell by sub or points minus 115. Zell by KO on points minus 230. Guys, in this case, I like Zell moneyline just because he has different ways to win by KO, submission, or decision. I don't know what's it going to be. I like Zell moneyline at a minus 550 as a parlay piece. But for the props, I like Zell by submission plus 440, Zell by KO plus 180. I like that this fight doesn't go the distance, no at a minus 156, and I like both of the double chances, Zell by sub or points minus 115, and Zell by KO or on points at a minus 230. I'm probably going to take those in 2 different slips. I love it. Let's go Zell Huber for the dub. I like it. I like him by submission. I like Zell Huber by submission. If you can wrap that up, I like Zell Huber by Darce. I'm going to go by second round submission. Let's go. Let's go, Zell. Let's go. 20-35, 20-35, 20-35. Patricio Pitbull versus Dan Ige, and they get right into each other's face. Minus 225 for Dan Ige. Patricio Pitbull plus 180. Two twins going at it. This is a good clash. Dan 50K. Ige always brings it. He's a great test for anyone that's willing to fight him. Dan is only 33 years old. 19-9 coming off of a super early stoppage win against Sean Woodson. But he was piecing Woodson up. And you can argue it was 1-1, 2-0 for Dan Ige. However you want to say it, whatever it is, it already happened. Dan Ige is a company man, matched up against Patricio Pitbull, former Bellator champion, made his debut against Yair Rodriguez. Tough fight. Pitbull seemed very flat-footed and a bit over the hill last time out. Leg kicks will play a massive factor in this fight, and I like the way Dan Ige has that little sneaky bounce. The pick is going to be Dan Ige by 29-28 decision, unanimous. Let's go over the props. Ige by points plus 120, Ige by KO plus 340. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a minus 230, no at a plus 176. Ige by KO on points, minus 195. Ige by submission on points, minus 105. Guys, give me Dan Ige money line, minus 225. I'll take Ige by points at a plus 120. I'll take that this fight goes the distance at a minus 230. And give me Ige by KO or on points at a minus 195. Let's go, my guy Dan Ige for the dub. Let's go. 21-47. Now, Kevin Holland, he does this thing where he doesn't look at his opponent. And, you know, I think that he's locked in. I know a lot of people say, oh, when they don't look at their opponent, they're not locked in, or, you know, he's overlooking his opponent. I don't think that's something with Kevin Holland. I will say Kevin Holland at minus 600. I don't really like betting Kevin Holland when he's a minus 800, minus 600, because you guys know Kevin Holland always, you know, I don't know, he always sells whenever he's a massive favorite. I remember when Kevin Holland fought Marvin Vettori. I remember so much. Kevin Holland minus 600. Daniel Rodriguez plus 420. The UFC thinks this will be a fun fight. This is pretty high up on the main card. Holland is only 32 years old, 28-13 overall. The most active fighter on the UFC roster. You're looking at him. His name is Kevin Holland. He has 13 wins by KO. Holland has a great one too. Looked amazing against Gunnar Nelson. And most recently, he destroyed Luque at his own game. He submitted the submission guy. He submitted the guy who many would expect to submit him. Holland has put together a couple of great performances in the UFC. Matched up against Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez is tough, but he lost to Neil Magny, Ian Machado Gary, and Kelvin Gastelum. Rodriguez had a good fight with Ponzi, but even when Rodriguez fought the Leech, I don't know. It was a close fight. But I don't know if I could have gave that fight to Rodriguez. I thought that was a robbery when he fought the Leech. Rodriguez doesn't have the wrestling in his back pocket if he gets rocked. As long as Holland can stay focused, not talk too much while you're in the cage, wait until you win the fight, I think Holland should be able to cruise to a victory. Daniel Rodriguez is going to bring it, but I like Holland ITD or even by decision. Holland by KO plus 190, Holland by sub plus 270, Holland by points plus 230. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a plus 166, no at a minus 215. Holland by submission on points minus 130, Holland by KO or sub minus 155. Holland by KO on points, minus 175. Guys, give me Kevin Holland money line, minus 600. I'll take Holland by submission, plus 270. I'll take Holland by KO at a plus 190. Give me that this fight doesn't go the distance, minus 215. Give me Holland by KO or submission at a minus 155. And just to be safe, I'll take Holland by KO on points at a minus 175. Let's go, my guy, Kevin Trailblazer Holland. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Now, this is going to be a banger, guys. This is a very good co-main event. You guys remember when we had Matus Gamera versus Ludovic Klein as a main event? Damn, was that a bad main event. But obviously we had Gamera by decision, but still, man, that was boring. Roman Kopylov versus Paulo Costa. Roman Kopylov minus 230, Paulo Costa plus 184. Secret Juice versus the Russian Chase Hooper. Who's going to win? 6 best bets in lock of the week, all on the fucking line, baby. Costa at 14-4 at 34 years old. Also, old. Had a lot... He had a lot of stock that has dropped within the following years. His most recent win is over Luke Rockhold in 2022. Paulo Secret Juice Costa. One of my favorite performances from Costa was against Jimi Hendrix and Yoel Romero, of course. This fight was supposed to happen at UFC 317. Costa has good body shots, good forward pressure, but he can be a bit of a punching bag at times. He lands over 6 significant strikes per minute, but he does have a negative striking differential. Matched up against Roman Kopylov. Kopylov's only losses are to Carl Robertson, Albert Duraev, and most recently, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. But Carl Robertson and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez both submitted him with a rear naked choke. There's a hole in Kopylov's game. It's the wrestling department taking his back and snatching up that rear naked choke. I do think that, anything is possible. If Paulo Costa is doing his tape study, there's an opening. Kopylov is on a 2-fight win streak, beating Cesar Almeida and Chris Curtis. I think Kopylov's fight's a style on Costa, but obviously styles make fights. The pick is going to be Roman Kopylov, but we know Chris Curtis was landing on Kopylov as well, so we got to be careful for Kopylov, guys. Let's go over the props. Kopylov by KO plus 300, Kopylov by sub plus 3,000. We know that he learned a lot from Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. In fact, the fight right after his not his first loss, but his loss to Anthony Hernandez, he wrestled against Cesar Almeida. He learns from his losses and he uses it in his next fight. Roman by sub plus 3,000. Roman by points plus 120. I like Roman by points. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a minus 166. No at a plus 130. Over 2.5 minus 210. Under 2.5 plus 160. Kopylov by KO on points minus 220. Guys, give me Kopylov moneyline minus 230. I'm going to take Kopylov by points plus 120. I'll take that this fight goes the distance minus 166. Give me Kopylov by KO on points minus 220. And give me the over 2.5 at a minus 210. May the best man win. Kopylov, let's go. It's going to be a great night, guys. I hope you guys very enjoy this, guys. I hope you guys are, by the time it's the main event, I hope you guys are chilling, have a good snack. And I hope you guys are in for a treat. A striker's delight. I don't know if we're going to see much wrestling in this one. Main event time, boys and girls. 27-minute gang. Here we go. I try to go a little bit faster. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Max Holloway minus 140. Dustin Poirier plus 114. Dustin shot 8 takedowns in their second fight. Max outstruck Dustin Poirier every round except for the first in their second fight. Dustin blew his load in that first round. But we know the clearest round for Max Holloway in the second fight was the third round. Max was putting it on Dustin. I think Dustin, was taking a little bit of break. He was kind of, gaining his stamina a little bit back. And then Dustin Poirier catches him with a knee up the middle, I believe in the fourth round, and he cuts up Max Holloway. Guys, Max Holloway was getting cut open by Volkanovski in their third fight as well. Max Holloway doesn't have a lot of success in trilogies. He actually went 0-3 against Volk. We're going to see how this one goes, guys. Max is going to be in for a crazy, crazy fight, guys. The trilogy. Dustin won the first 2 times, we know. I think this main event is a event that we all must watch for the BMF, baby. Max Holloway lands 7 significant strikes per minute. Loves to work combos upstairs, downstairs, and overwhelm his opponent like a snowball effect. Each and every round, he gets more and more stronger. But I will say the equalizer is that power from Dustin Poirier. Max looked good against Poirier, in my honest opinion. I think Max did go kick heavy, and then he ended up getting figured out. But he had a decent game plan against Ilya. But that was the first time he's ever been knocked out 9 months ago. Many are saying Dustin Poirier is going to be able to crack his chin. Max is a former champion. Dustin is a former interim champion. Dustin is looking to head off into the sunset with a beautiful W. May the best man win. Max, being the younger, fresher fighter, should be the faster fighter, having more volume and output. But I will say, guys, Dustin Poirier just takes one, and he just needs one to crack. And we know that Dustin Poirier, when he smells blood, guys, he's like a shark, guys. He goes for the finish, and 9 times out of 10, when Dustin sends a finish, he finishes the fight. Matched up against Dustin the Diamond Poirier. He's going to be walking out to Lil Wayne. I would love for Lil Wayne to wrap the belt on the winner. I would love that. Dustin has 30 wins, 9 losses. He will have 40 professional fights once this main event is over. Dustin has never lost 2 in a row. Dustin is coming off of a Darce choke by submission. Lost to Islam Makhachev. You know what they say? I think everybody who's lost to Ilya has won the fight right after. I'm not sure, though, how accurate that stat is. Not for everybody, but most recently, the people who have lost to Ilya have won right after. Obviously, stats and all that doesn't matter when you're getting punched in the face. Dustin is 2-3 out of his last 5, beating Mike Chandler and Benoit Saint-Denis. He finished both of those guys. I can see Dustin have a lot of success in the pocket, just like he did against Islam. He made a massive cut against Islam. I had a 2-2 against Islam. And, he was ripping the body of Islam against the cage, forcing Islam to shoot. Dustin might drop Max, but I think Max's recovery is something to take into consideration. Max needs to use all 8 of his limbs against Dustin. Dustin is cheeky and he can tend to land in the chaos. When Dustin smells blood, it could be all over. Max is very busy. And we've seen him do 5 rounds multiple times before. I'm going to go Max. Low confidence. May the best man win. Whoever wins, guys, I'm happy. I love both of these guys. Both of these guys are my favorite fighters. So this has been some of the hardest tape study I've ever had to do. I'm going to go Max by 48-47, 49-46, and 48-47 unanimous decision. But I wouldn't even be surprised if it's split. 48-47 Max, 48-47 Dustin. And for the winner by split decision, 48-47 Max Holloway. The best is blessed, baby. I do like the over 4.5 as well. Sorry, guys, I didn't mute my mic for that one. Let's go over the props. Max by KO plus 400. Max by points plus 165. Dustin by sub plus 1,200. Dustin by KO plus 350. Dustin by points plus 370. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a minus 134. No at a plus 106. Over 4.5 minus 154. Under 4.5 plus 122. One knockdown in this fight minus 150. I think that's very good, guys. The Ilya and Oliveira fight, I think one knockdown in the fight, that hit like crazy. That hit in the first round. Dustin by KO round points plus 135. Max by KO round points minus 135. Dustin by KO rounds 1, 2, or 3 plus 550. Dustin by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5 plus 750. Max by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5 plus 900. We know he did it against Gaethje. We know that both of these guys have that power and that volume. Volume versus power. May the best man win. I'm going to go Max Holloway. Give me Max Holloway money line at a minus 140. I'm going to take the over 4.5 at a minus 154. Give me that this fight goes the distance at a minus 134. I'm going to go Max by points at a plus 165. Give me for this fight to have one knockdown in this fight at a minus 150. And I'll go by Max by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5 plus 900. Let's go. I'll repeat them all over again. Max by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5 plus 900. One knockdown in the fight minus 150. Over 4.5 minus 154. This fight to go the distance, yes, at a minus 134. Max by points plus 165. And Max Holloway money line at a minus 140. Let's go. May the best man win. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know who you guys got. It's going to be an absolute bang. I cannot wait. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. The best is blessed, baby. May the best man win. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Peace. Hey, let me know what you guys think. Hey.